See how slow I can get. All right, let's go ahead and start it. Hi, my name is Dana Rep, and I am an adjunct artist with Elements of Education. I teach a class called History Connect at SAMI in partnership with Fort Nisqually Living History Museum in Point Defiance Park. I'm a volunteer historical interpreter and also a reenactor up at Fort Nisqually, and we teach living history. We teach people how to experience it by cooking or making toys or garments or whatever it is they want to learn. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a buzzsaw. They're also called whirligigs. And why? Well, because since the beginning of time, children and adults alike have always liked to play. Buzzsaws are actually dated as far back as the 17th century. In early English literature has been referred to several times. We know kids in Puget Sound in the 1800s also played with these. They were easy to make. A lot of the supplies were readily available. And we use them at the fort a lot because they're a great way to break the ice with kids and adults alike. A lot of times kids don't know what questions they want to ask, and so this is a way for them to just naturally come by it as they start playing with it. Adults also engage with it a lot because they can remember probably playing with some of these toys when they were kids with their grandparents or other people in their family. So today's little toy is called a buzzsaw. It's a wooden disc, about 2 3/4 inch in diameter and about 1/4 inch thick. A string is run through it. I've got a couple of wooden handles, and what it does is you wind it up and pull. Let the string kind of work with you. Don't pull against it too much. So that's what we'll be making. When I'm done instructing you how to make a wooden one, I'll show you a couple of other options that you can make as well with some more modern materials that will be readily available to you so you can make your own. So in order to get started today, we're going to make a template. You'll need a little piece of cardstock or paper, an old envelope from the recycle bin will work, a pencil, scissors, a hole punch. If you don't have a hole punch, you can use an awl like this one, or a little screwdriver will work as well too. A wooden disc, a piece of string about 24 inches long, and some tape. If you don't have a string, an old shoelace might work, but you need a pretty long one. And then some tape, pruning shears so you can go get a little piece of stick from your yard like this one, and a drill, as well as a little block to work on when you're drilling. That way you don't mess up your mother's table or anyone else's for that matter. So let's get started. First thing we do is we're going to take our wooden disc, again 2 3/4 inches in diameter, about 1/4 inch thick is like the sweet spot for these. You can use a little bit thinner ones or maybe even a little bit thicker, but I just find that this seems to be the right diameter that works the best and is most durable. The first thing I'm going to do is have you trace your circle onto your little piece of paper here. Make it nice and dark because you're going to cut it out. You want to be able to follow the line easily. It's not about completely being perfect, but you do want to get this circle fairly rounded, not with without a lot of little hiccups in it, so that way you'll be able to make your markings on here. This is going to make a template for your drilling holes, and you'll want them to be fairly centered, so that way your toy will balance out. So cut that out, that part away. What I do next is you take this little circle, fold it in half. This is where you'll see your errors. I mean, as long as they're fairly close, it's fine. That shouldn't be a big deal. Use your fingernail, make a nice sharp edge, fold it again. So it should be in quarters. All right. So now you've got your mark here, and this will allow you to make your punch for the center. So this is where you use your center punch. You can mark it with your pencil first, like this, and then you can come back and use your awl or use a screwdriver to push it through, or even a pencil to get it started will also work. But since I have a hole punch, it makes a little bit neater hole. I do that. You want to make sure you stay right centered on that middle line so that your holes end up in the absolute center of your buzzsaw. So that's my template holes for where the string will go through. I fold it back up again into quarters, and so that I can make the markings for where I want to drill for the holes that will go around the outside of it. I'm only going to do 4 for this example today. So I'm just going to hole punch there. Not rocket science, just kind of balance it out, and this is what it looks like. So now that we've got our template made, we're going to put it back on top of our wooden disc, make sure it's centered, and then just mark the areas where you put these holes so that you can see where you're going to want to drill. Real simple, there's my marks. The 2 center ones for the string, and then these ones for making the noise. If you can't do these 4 outer ones, or you just don't have enough gumption to try it, then you can just do it with a plain disc. It will still work, but it does make a little bit better noise when there's some holes in it. What we'll do now is we're going to take our wooden block and put our disc on it, and then use our drill and drill out these holes. So now we've drilled our 2 center holes for our string, and I'm going to go about drilling the other 4 holes on the outside to give my buzzsaw a little bit of noise. I normally wouldn't be using a modern drill. At the fort, we'd be using a tool called a bit and brace. It's a manual type of drill from back in the 19th century, still used up in the early 20th century, but since I'm home and don't have access to those tools, this is what we're working with today. It's a little bit faster, but not by a whole lot actually, you'd be surprised. Built-in added safety to using a bit and brace because it doesn't operate so fast that you're less likely to hurt yourself. So this is the part where our string comes in, or a shoelace if you have it. Thread it through your holes in the center. If you need to, if it's coming in kind of coming frayed and hard to get through the hole, you can use a little bit of tape on it to give you a leader, or make it like a little needle to fill through. One thing you want to do is, I can feel how rough this is right here, so just kind of use your nail and you can clean that up a little bit so you don't want your string to break right off the bat, if at all possible. Had that happen a few times. So tie a little knot in the end here. It's just a simple loop knot. Make a circle, bring your ends through the underside, and just pull the knot, feed it up to the end a little bit so that it's not, so that it's more toward the end of your string. You're not using up so much of your string with your knot. You don't want your knot down here if you can help it. Then you take your scissors here and just trim this off a little bit so that you have a nice tidy little knot. Here's where your tree trimmers come in handy. You can go out and cut yourself a little branch so you can make handles. Some people make handles and they drill holes in them, and that works fine. But for a toy, for the purposes of just it being a toy, this works just as well. I found that all you have to do is just take your 2 little snips of branch, like I have here, filter 1. So I just lay the string around it, open it up. So you want to keep those 2 in the center, and bring your toy through there. Your disc through. That just holds it in place. Do the same thing on the other side. Lay your string over. You can see it better this way. Lay that way. And then you have a big loop here, and you pull everything else through the middle of that. It's kind of like tying 2 rubber bands together. Then you take your whirligig or your buzzsaw and you wind it up. And see how well it worked. This one's much quieter than the other one I was showing you because it has less holes. So larger diameter holes or even more holes make a big difference. You can even do, take your drill right to the center at the edge up here and make it kind of a rugged edge, and will also give you a little bit more noise as well. Now, that's your wooden one. And a lot of people are going, I don't have a disc. You can get them online or at your local hardware store. Some of them have them. Even some craft stores have them. They may have them a little bit smaller versions, but you can still use those. But I've got another option today for you to try so that you can still make one right now, and it's really simple. We're going to start off with a piece of corrugated cardboard. Not very exciting, but it works. We're going to take the same disc. I'll grab another one over here. It's going to have a string on it to use as a template, or you can use your template that you already made. Actually, I'll use my template. That will be a little bit more serving. So we're just going to go around the template. Try to color it dark so you can see what you're cutting. Okay. So now I have my circle on there. I'm just going to cut that out. Try to cut right on your line that you've made. It will give you a better circle, give a more even, a more balanced toy for you to play with. Now, these are clearly not going to last as long as a wooden one, but it's a great little thing to play with your siblings or if you're babysitting. You can keep them busy with it too. You're now going to take your template, lay it back over just like you did on the wooden disc, mark your 2 spots here. You can do holes or not. Doesn't really matter. It's your choice. I think I'm going to do a few holes in this one. So now I've got all my markings on there. And this is where I use my awl. I have a really sharp awl here. Not good for little kids, but if you've got a screwdriver, this will work. You can even sacrifice a pencil lead or 2 in here to get these to open up for you. But what you do is then you just gently push your awl through. So you have an eye for each hole. You do the same thing with this. Way faster version than the wooden one, obviously. And a little bit more easy in the tool department. Come on. Okay. Then you're going to take another 24-inch string and we're going to thread another string through this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to thread just like we did the last one. I'll use a little piece of tape because it won't hold up as well going through the cardboard as it did the wood. Again, shoelaces work great right here, or the shoestring like ones that come with those little kids' lacing cards from the little toddler stuff. Thread it through one end, then thread it back in the other hole. If it's not opened up enough, just run your awl back through it so it opens a little wider. Okay. Tie your string. This one is so lightweight that I don't usually put handles on it. You can put handles on it the same way you did with the other one. This might be a little bit overdone, but you can do it. It's up to you. Then you just take your cardboard. You have to really wind this one up because it's so light, but it's a little more aggressive sound, but it works. Now, the third one I'm going to show you is the one you can do in a pinch, and it's made out of a button. Do the same thing. You just need a button. If it's got 4 holes in it, you're only going to do the 2 diagonal from each other, or if it's just got 2 holes in it, you just use the 2 holes. Run your string through it, and it does the same thing, and you can run them through. This is a great quick trick you can do with little kids. The one thing I discourage you from doing is borrowing the buttons off your mom's coat while she's still using it. So don't use anybody's buttons. You can go get some heavy duty ones. The heavier the button, the better. Well, thank you for watching me, and I hope you get a chance to go out and make a buzzsaw. You know 3 different kinds now already, and you know, if any of you take on trying to make a clay one, I'd love to see it. My email address is on the next slide, and tag me in my email, let me see what you've made, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a great week.